Hey everyone, welcome to You Can Automate YouTube channel. Today we are going to discuss about for loops. There are a number of types of loops in JavaScript, but today we are going to discuss about for loops. In for loop we have basically four types of for loops. One is for loop, for in loop, for off loop, and fourth one is for each loop. Right? And before going further, let's understand why we use a loop. Assume that we have an array, and if you want to print all the web elements, all the elements of the values, all the values of an array, if you want to print it, then you need to have a for loop. You cannot just individually access each and every value from array, so that it will add a lot of lines of code, and it is not a advised way to follow. What I'm trying to say is, say for example, first take let's take a look on this for loop, standard for loop, and you have a array called marks. Okay, and this is how I'm going to create a array that 25, 40, 60, and 70. And this is how I'm going to create array. If you are not familiar with how to create array, you can just watch my previous videos. There I have mentioned like how to create array, how to access array. In general, without using for loop, if I want to access the loop or the array elements, what I will do, marks of, here in the square bracket I need to mention the index, whether I want to access first value, second value, like that. As always, array starts with the first zeroth index. If I want to access the first value from array, then I'm going to mention it is a zeroth index, right? If I want to access 45, then I will mention marks of 1, because it starts from 0, 1, 2, 3, like that it goes. Okay, so this is a cumbersome activity, and it is taking it takes lot of lines of your code. It is not a advised way to access any of the arrays. So that's why for loop came. Why for loop is used is, if I want to access all the values of array, then in a single statement, then I'm going to use a for loop. How does that look is, this is a syntax for let I equals to 0. That means that I need to mention from which index it has to start, from which position it has to start. That is, I'm mentioning that start from 0th index. Okay, then I need to mention what is a condition to terminate this for loop. That is, whenever the index reaches end of the array, that means that I less than marks dot length, then when it reaches this point, that is a last element of the array, then I need to stop it. And one more I need to mention here, that in each iteration what should I need, right? I need to increment the array counter. That means that first it has to access 0, then it has to increment, it has to access first, it has to access second, it has to access third. Like that, each time the IE value should increment starting from 0. Inside this for loop, I'm going to just print array elements, that marks of I. That means that marks of 0 first it will come, it will print, then I will increment marks of 1, marks of 2, like that it will go till the last value of the array. Okay, this is how the for loop will be written. Let me execute this and see what it prints. If you see here, all the elements of array are getting printed here. Okay, now let's see the second type of array, that is for in loop. Okay, this is another way of writing a for loop, and this is syntax for this: for let j in marks. So here I'm not going to mention any condition when it has to end the for loop, because by default it is understood that it has to traverse through the entire array. and I'm not going to mention the starting position also, because it is understood that it has to start from 0. It will access all the elements from array, and this is one more way of representing writing array. So I'm going to print console dot log marks of j. Okay, this is the second way of writing a for loop. I'm just going to comment the first one so that to have a clear visibility in the output. Now I'm going to run this program again. If you see here, there is no difference between the first output and the second output. So this is just one more way of writing a for loop by using a for in. Okay, then the third one is for off loop. Okay, let's see how does it look, how what is the syntax for this. I need to mention for keyword, then I need to mention let k of marks. I'm just taking one more variable. You can take any variable name here, k of marks. That means that I don't want a counter, I just need a values from this array one by one. That means that each time assign the value of array to k. First it will assign 25, then it will assign 45, 60, and then 70. Okay, then each time what I need to do, I'm going to write here, I'm going to do the same thing, console.log, as it is taking every time the value of array, not the index, it is directly taking the value of array, so I'm directly printing that particular value here, log of k, console.log of k. Okay, I'm going to comment the previous type, executing this. So if you see, there is no difference of this type of for loop also. So lastly we use first type of method, first type of for, and the second type of for, and rarely we use a third type of for. Okay, and fourth type of for, that is for each, I'm going to discuss about this in the later sections, because this requires some understanding of functions. So once we will have a look of functions, then I will discuss about this for each. Okay, that's it for today. See you in the next video.